It started as a simple camping trip, but the kind of story I'm about to tell you, it's the one people in Maine refuse to talk about when the sun goes down, the one that never got an answer, and maybe never will. In the summer of 1997, 4 close friends from Portland, Maine, Josh Miller, Carla Grant, Sam Deacon, and Laura Reese, packed their gear for a weekend getaway deep into the northern wilderness of Baxter State Park. Locals called that part of the woods Whispering Pines. It wasn't on any official trail maps. It was the kind of place old-timers casually warned people to avoid. They'd say things like, "The trees talk at night, and not everything that talks should be heard." But like most 20-somethings back then, the 4 friends brushed it off as just a silly folktale. Josh, the most adventurous of the group, found an old hand-drawn trail map online and convinced the others it'd be the perfect secluded campsite, far from any other visitors. They left on a Friday afternoon, and by sunset, their car was parked off an unmarked dirt road. They hiked almost 5 miles in, deeper into the untouched part of the forest than most people ever went. They pitched their tents in a clearing surrounded by towering pine trees. By all accounts, the weekend was shaping up to be perfect. Warm weather, clear skies, and the kind of silence you can only find miles from civilization. But that silence didn't last long. On the second night, just after midnight, Carla woke to the sound of whispering, faint, breathy, like dozens of voices all murmuring at once. She assumed it was Josh and Sam talking by the fire pit. When she unzipped her tent, she saw something strange. The campfire was out, and Josh and Sam were both fast asleep in their tents. Still, the whispering continued. Carla stood frozen, trying to make sense of it. The voices weren't coming from the campsite. They were drifting in from the woods, surrounding them. The next morning, she told the others about it. Sam laughed it off. Josh grinned and said, "Maybe the trees were just telling you good night." Only Laura seemed concerned. Her face had gone pale. She quietly admitted that she too had heard something, but it wasn't just whispering. She'd heard her own name being called. That evening they debated whether to pack up and leave early, but Josh convinced everyone to stay just one more night. It was a decision none of them would have the chance to regret. Around 2 a.m., park rangers at the Baxter State Park headquarters received a weak, garbled radio transmission. Static. Then a faint female voice. "Help! We can't see. They're everywhere. Please, don't let them take us." The signal cut out. When search teams arrived the next morning, the campsite looked untouched. The tents were still standing. Their backpacks and supplies were still there. The campfire was cold, but Josh, Carla, Sam, and Laura were gone. No footprints, no sign of struggle, nothing. It was as if they'd simply vanished into thin air. For weeks, authorities combed every inch of the surrounding woods. They brought in tracking dogs, helicopters, volunteers from neighboring towns, but nothing turned up. No bodies, no trace. The only odd thing searchers reported, on several occasions, rangers swore they heard whispering in the wind as they moved through the pines, and some volunteers claimed they heard their own names softly spoken, even when they were alone. To this day, nearly 3 decades later, no one knows what happened to those 4 campers. The case remains open with the Maine State Police. Locals still say you can hear voices in those woods late at night, especially in the summer months. Some believe it was just an unfortunate accident, a case of hikers getting lost. But those who've lived in the region long enough step foot near Whispering Pines after dark. And here's the part that keeps me up at night. Every year since 1997, exactly on the same weekend in August, rangers still receive a weak radio transmission. It's always the same static-filled message. Help, we can't see. They're everywhere. Please, don't let them take us. They can't trace where the transmission comes from, and they can't explain why. Nearly 30 years later, those exact same words still echo on the radio. Maybe those four friends are still out there, calling for help from somewhere we don't understand. If you think you know what happened in those woods, or if you've ever heard of something like this before, tell me what you think in the comments below. And if you want more chilling stories like this one, don't forget to subscribe to Ghost Story 2.0. Trust me, the next story is even darker than this one.